I'm going to move on instead and talk about longer term future. Will we ever get machines that are smarter than us? In other words, that can outperform us on all cognitive tasks? And if so, how and when? This is very controversial. Different people have a lot of different opinions. But at a recent conference that I'll tell you more about soon, we managed to bring together a large fraction of the world's leading AI builders, and we did a poll there and asked, well, what do they think? And this is what they thought. How many years do they think it's going to take until AI can match us humans on all cognitive tasks? Some of them thought, it's never going to happen, or it's going to be hundreds of years. But interestingly, most of them were much more optimistic about their field and thought, actually, it's going to happen a lot sooner. It's a huge uncertainty, so we clearly don't know when it's going to happen. But you can see that about half of them thought that this is going to happen in their lifetime. And this means that if somebody tells you that they're completely confident that we're not going to have superhuman AI in our lifetime, that means that they don't fully understand what's actually happening in the field. Because these are the experts in the field. I'll come back and take questions at the end. And so another interesting thing from talking to a lot of AI people here is that this histogram has actually changed a lot in the last 5 years. Because there were a lot of things which many people 5 years ago thought were going to take decades to do, which have happened all of a sudden. So what are some of these things? What is some of this amazing progress that's recent? Well, GoFi, which is the nerd acronym for good old-fashioned AI, there the key algorithms were programmed in by humans. So at some level, the intelligence of the machine was limited by how clever the programmer was. Nonetheless, GoFi accomplished a lot of stuff. It kicked Garry Kasparov's posterior in chess and made self-driving cars and so on. And in fact, even the Jeopardy victory of Watson was largely in this category, so are self-driving cars. But many of the latest AI breakthroughs that are getting the AI researchers most excited, and sometimes also most concerned, are actually different kind of AI, where the machine instead learns, a bit like a child. My children can have the potential to get much better than me at a lot of tasks that I don't even know how to do, right? Because they learn. And this is precisely what deep learning is all about. You build a system which is able to learn. Look at this, for example. This came out of Google last year. It doesn't look very impressive. It's some people playing frisbee, and then there's a caption. Except this caption wasn't written by a human. It was written by this piece of deep learning software. Try to write that code yourself in 5 minutes. Good luck. And how did it do it? Did they have typed in, if it's a thing which is shaped like this and so on, it's probably a frisbee? No. It just learned. It just showed this thing vast numbers of different images, and with some correct classifications on some of them, and it learned. Show this picture to the same software, and it says it's a herd of elephants walking across a dry grass field. These are things which 5 years ago a lot of very serious AI researchers thought was decades away, and it's here. Let me show you another thing which 5 years ago a lot of people thought was going to be decades away. This is Demis Hassabis sitting here in the middle at the Wired 2014 conference. I'll let him speak for himself.
First time the machine has ever seen this data stream, this pixel data stream. So it has no idea it's controlling the green rocket at the bottom of the screen, has no idea how to get points, no idea how it loses lives. But you'll see it loses its 3 lives almost immediately, so it's just playing randomly at the moment. Then after overnight trainings on a single GPU machine on our servers, it's just playing the game some more. You come back in the morning, and now it's better than any human can play the game. So every single bullet hits something. It can't be killed anymore by the space invaders. It's worked out that the mothership at the top of the screen going across now is worth the most points. It does these unbelievably accurate shots to get those points. And it's built, as Ben was saying, it's built up such an accurate model of this world.
Let me see if I can stop Enya. Try again. Apologize.
So this is literally the first time the machine has ever seen this data stream.
So,
this pixel data.
So I'll jump forwarding into where we were. But basically what's happened here is they have this software, right, that Demis and his team at Google DeepMind have built, which simply learns to play Atari computer games the way a kid would. They haven't given it any instructions at all, except maximize your score, play over and over again. The only thing the computer gets as input is the pixel values, a bunch of numbers, and the only output from the computer is commands the joystick. And let me see if we can
So this is literally
do this without
the first
Enya.
time. So every single bullet hits something, it can't be killed anymore by the space invaders. It's worked out that the mothership at the top of the screen going across now is worth the most points. It does these unbelievably accurate shots to get those points. And it's built, as Ben was saying, it's built up such an accurate model of this world that it's in, that if you watch the last space invader, they get faster as there's less of them. Watch the last bullet. It sort of predictably fires where it thinks the space invader will be in a few seconds' time. So it's perfectly modelled this very complex data stream. Now, of course, these are just games, but this could be anything. This could be climate data, this could be economics data, stock market data, anything that has temporal sequences of data, which is most things these days. I'm just going to show one last video, which is my favourite one, which is a game Breakout. Now, in Breakout, you control this bat and ball at the bottom of the screen, and you're trying to break through this rainbow-coloured brick wall. And here, this is after literally 30 minutes real-time training. So it's done 100 games. And you can see it's pretty terrible at the game, but you can see it's starting to get the idea that it should move the bat towards the ball. So it loses a life when the ball goes past it. This is after an hour now, real-time play. So it's 200 games. So you can see it's quantitatively better, but it's still not brilliant. Now, 2 hours in, now it's more or less mastered the game. So it can, almost always get the ball back. And even when the ball's coming back at a very fast angle. So it's better than most humans can play this now. And then we thought, well, that's pretty good, but what happens if we just leave it playing some more? So we just left it playing the game for another couple of hours. And then to our surprise, it came up with this optimal strategy, which is to dig a tunnel around the side and then send the ball around the back in this unbelievably, superhuman accurate way. And actually, the funny thing about that is that the designers of the system, these brilliant guys at DeepMind, they're not actually very good at playing the games, and they didn't know about that strategy themselves. So they actually learned something from their own program that they had created.
So that's deep learning for you. And I hope this gives you a little bit of a flavor of why people in the field are so excited. There are all these things they thought were going to be decades away, and now they're happening. And if you can start playing old Atari games, then of course it's a very small step towards playing 3D games, and then have a robot that thinks it's playing a 3D game when it's walking around in the real world, and off you go.